Alright guys, I should do these types of videos more often, but for whatever reason, I have not been doing that. This is a 1-year update on the SOG multi-tool that I purchased brand new, and I have a video up from when I bought it brand new. So what I want to do is talk about it to you guys and let you know after a year of use, has anything broken on it? How has it worked for me? Is there anything that didn't work out for me? And just, some overall talk about it after having used it for a year, which you're much better to review this after using it for a year than I was when it first came. Okay, first of all, we'll just take a look at the exterior. That black coating has held up very well. I have never babied this thing. Whatever I used it on, whenever I carried it, I treated it just like you would if you just had a hammer. Just lay it down wherever I'm working, whatever. Didn't baby it whatsoever. Never oiled it. Never did anything other than wipe it off. Okay, so let's go ahead and open it up. I can tell you this. The pliers are still very good and tight. Of course, there is no spring to the pliers. It has this mechanism with these little gears here where whatever force you exert on the handle, double the force is exerted at the head. One of the features I love about this multi-tool. Okay, another thing I checked for is play with the handles back and forth, and I can find no play, no movement back and forth in any of the positions of the handle. So everything's still nice and tight, and doesn't seem to be any problems there. Now, something did break on me. Not fully, but you'll see it's partially broke. Okay, if you can see here the wire cutters down in there, I'm going to try to get this as close as I can. I'm even going to get out a flashlight for you. Okay. See right there on the little wire cutters in there? See that nice chunk? It's taken out of both pieces there. Okay, that was something that probably wouldn't have happened. But what I did with this was I took an old, I believe it was on the box springs. I took an old box spring that was tore up, and the springs are really strong pieces of steel that's used in the older style bed springs. I mean, much more hard than like a coat hanger material or something like that. So what I did was I decided that I was going to take one of these springs and I was going to use this on it until I cut through it. So I put it on and I pushed down with normal pressure, and I don't feel any give in that spring whatsoever. None. So now I start, really cranking on it. Now I'm using both hands. Still, feels like I am getting nowhere with that solid steel spring. Okay, next, I practically stand on the handles of this thing. I was like, either one thing is going to break right now, and I don't care which. It's either going to be this SOG Power Assist or that spring. I literally took both hands, squeezed as hard as I could, and took my entire body and pushed down on top of this on something solid on that spring. And at one point, I literally thought the handle might snap on this. I was pushing that hard. Finally, clink, the spring snapped in two. So I pick this up and look at it, and looky there. So I can say one downfall to the SOG. It's not that it broke with the spring. I really had no business cutting that kind of a spring with this anyway. But if this had the little screw-in cutters like Leatherman does with the little screws, I could have just ordered a brand new set from SOG and screwed them right in, but with this you can't do that because it's a part of your pliers. So that's one of the negatives to the tool, this being a part of your pliers, that you cannot replace if they're compromised. Okay, let's go to another negative of the tool. Because as with everything, there's always good and bad, and I like to tell both the good and bad about what I review. Sometimes it just takes a while to find out what is bad about what you're reviewing. Okay, I do not like this. One time, can't remember exactly what was going on. I needed this tool quickly, and I wanted to get a tool out of here. When I popped this, I felt something like come loose and then fall. This whole thing fell off. It's just kind of seated in there, and just like that. See how he didn't do that on purpose, but you see how easily that came off. Now, that is on there to make it more ergonomic when you grip the handle, so you're not gripping on these pieces of metal. These, like flat pieces of metal. It's supposed to be a little bit more comfortable for your hand. And then the other side that doesn't open, it's going to be designed like this when it's closed, so it's rounded. But I'm just not a fan of this. I wish there was something more that they could have done. Hold on one second. It's hard to do this with the way I got this camera and tripod set up. Okay, there we go. Back on. The tools, they're really not that bad to get out of there, but I'm going to be honest with you. If I wanted the Phillips screwdriver right there, I would have to start here and work my way in and possibly even pull this out. Now when I pull this out, you see how it tipped a little bit? There, it went forward again. See how it tipped right there? Now I can get that out of there. Otherwise, I really can't get the Phillips out of there too well. Not bad all in all. I've used this in a pinch and wanted to grab it quick and get a tool out, and it was okay. It was decent. This here is getting caught for some reason. I don't remember that happening before. This can opener's caught on this. You know what? I didn't like this when I first got it. One of the negatives I had was this V-cutter, and now to tell you the truth, I've used this V-cutter a couple of times on a couple things that were pretty heavy duty, and this V-cutter worked great. So one of the things that I didn't like, I found out with a year of use that I actually did like. So they lock up nice, the locking mechanism's still good, no problems with the locking, and that V-cutter has come in handy, and I really didn't know if it would when I first got it. Okay, now let's move on here. Excuse me for a second. Okay, the blade I use the most would not be this one. Okay. The blade I used the most was this one. Now, what I did with this, I just kind of thrashed on this because, this isn't a real high-grade steel. It's a decent steel. It's not high-grade. It's nothing fancy, and, it's nothing expensive. So, for things like cardboard and breaking down boxes, the TVs come in, different things like that, I would just take this thing out every single time and just start hacking away at cardboard. It's still pretty decent. It has lost some of its sharpness, but I'm still going through cardboard and stuff real well. Now the black coating on this has held up. You can see the wear on the blade. And for as much cardboard and things as I've cut, you would think the coating would be gone, because I've cut up a lot with this knife. And everything I used on was pretty much just thrashing it. So, couple scratches there on the back. So all in all, I would have to say that it served me well. The pliers are its best feature by far, due to the fact that these little gears here, or whatever they're called, sorry, I'm not an expert on the different names of the parts on here. Also, I've never used the crimpers either, so I can't speak to those. But for these gears that allow you to get double pressure at the head with the pressure you exert at the handle, excellent, excellent, 10 out of 10 on the pliers. As with anything else, especially multi-tools, there's give and take, and things I don't like, the little door cover, and fell off on me when I really needed the tool quick, just little things like that. But all in all, I would consider this a low end of the heavy-duty multi-tools. It's sturdy, it's rugged, it is heavy. You might not want to carry this with everything you wear. By the way, guys, I'm still carrying around the Squirt P4 when clothing dictates that I carry something lighter. But I would consider it at the low end of heavy-duty multi-tools. There are things out there more heavy-duty by Leatherman, like I believe it's called the Super 300 or something like that, and it's just it looks like it's on steroids. But I would consider this heavy-duty. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. That's my take on the SOG Power Assist. Oh, and by the way, one more thing before I go. I have to say that the blades, it took a little bit for them to pop out like that when it was new. But once I worked this knife in, or once I worked the blades in, it works smooth as could be. Never had a problem with the Power Assist blades. Let me get the other one for you. Where are you? Okay, here we go. Hold up a second. I had the lock on. Sorry about that, guys. There's that one. It works great. Oh, I found one more negative. I really have to tell you about this. A big time negative about this multi-tool. This is a slider here to lock the blade from accidentally coming open. If you press off, there's no way to open this. This here button is a release to unlock the blade. Has nothing to do with opening it. This is to lock the blade in the handle. Now, what happens is, I try to carry this thing with the lock off, and they accidentally slide on. These will move on you. You cannot trust whatever position you set this in on these blades, on or off. You cannot trust it to stay there. One of the most annoying things that I've encountered with this multi-tool, and I almost forgot to tell you guys about it. But you cannot trust when you put this away, what this is set on, you cannot trust it to be there when you pick it back up. And that is a big annoyance to me, SOG. I hope you work on this, and I hope you can fix it. Alright guys, until next time, that's my 1-year review of the SOG Power Assist. Now that I have the right to review it after it's been well used. Alright guys, until next time, this is H4T, Jade, and Goro, and we are out of there.